Hello and good day. This is the ninth week. The ninth week. I cannot believe that I made it that far. The ninth week of the Artist Way. I have to say that this week was the first one where I felt okay. I think the very, very first week where this didn't feel like a dread, where I actually managed to do it. So we're gonna start with my mini journals. How many days this week did you do the morning pages? I do them every day. I think it became a habit. Like, I think before I do anything, I started doing my morning pages. I also got this much smaller journal and it's working really well. I do my tasks in like a bigger journal so I can actually read through it back. And then I do my morning pages in here because it just feels like I can fill it much better. And honestly, it became easy. I think it also became a little bit easier because this week we were supposed to read back what we wrote for the last like many weeks that we were doing it, because honestly, like, I have been trying to do it every week, but I shifted a little bit. I do them when I can. So in the end, I think so far I started the Artist Way in March. Now it's June, end of June. I'm on the 9th week. So sometimes it took me a week and a half. There was one week where it took me 2 weeks to do the week, but it's okay. And we were supposed to read back the morning pages. So what I observed in my morning pages are two things in particular. What I want is actually kind of very clear to me, which was funny because I think it wasn't art. And that was the crazy part, is that for the first time in a while, I mean, I've been doing arts for 8 years, and I like what I do sometimes. And I think it was a really challenging experience with arts overall, and like how I perceive myself as I do my art, what I actually like charge, how do I value myself. And I think art didn't actually really help with that. I think it made it harder. And it sounds a little bit odd, but this whole book became less about being an artist and more about like what you actually want. So reading back these pages felt liberating because I think I heard her so clearly. Like, I heard that she wants to be in nature. I heard that she wants to be a bit different than she is at the moment. Like, I've heard a different type of person in there that is longing for freedom in a very different kind of way, not in an artistic way actually, as much as in human way. And that felt so good. That realization felt so good because I realized that I have made steps this year to bring me closer to the kind of life that I would like to live. And I'm far from it, but I'm closest to it I've ever been. And it feels good. And I also never want to forget that. I never want to forget that feeling that I had this week of so many clicks, so many realizations, of reading back what I wrote and just hearing so clearly, I want to be outside. I want to study maybe something different. I want to be more in nature. I want to preserve nature in some ways. Like, my whole art is kind of about nature and connecting to nature, but I think it was like a longing for it, an excuse to be closer to it through arts, when actually I also just want to be closer to it in general and live closer to it. Because for the past 6 years, actually not even 6, like forever, I've lived in the city, and for the past 6 years I lived in Berlin, and I was having the hardest time. And now I moved out, well, semi moved out of Berlin, and at the moment on the end of the world, and I feel so much better. Like, literally, like, it wasn't for me. City life was not for me, and I kept trying to convince myself that it would work, but it wasn't working, and I was so frustrated. I was punishing myself for it. Also, artistically, I wasn't going anywhere further. I also didn't really have artistic dreams at all, really. And now, doing these tasks, reading out loud what I want to do, and for example, in the 9th week, there was a task where you're supposed to visualize something, like visualize your future. And here, like, task 2, visualizing. You have already done the work with naming your goal and identifying true north. The following exercise asks you to fully imagine having a goal accomplished. Please spend enough time to fill in the details that would really make the experience wonderful for you. I am. And then basically in the present tense, describe what you want to be. And that's what I wrote. And I think I just want to like memorize this for myself because, wait, where is it? I am a requested high paid photographer who travels for her job. What I really do, and no, arts is what I do on the side to my true passion, and it's nature and animals. I work with rescue animals and I preserve natural habitats. Sometimes I step away and create beautiful images for queer weddings, drag shows, dance shows, and create individual shots in nature. For all, for all of that, I learn how to drive, and I can drive. And well, no, I didn't say I learn. I will learn how to drive because I currently can't, but in this present tense, I am driving. I drive and I have like the coolest and cutest car where all my gear fits and equipment fits for all my jobs, and I travel with that car as well. And I work in nature for my heart, and I do art sometimes for my soul. Also, my car is so cute and cool, I literally can't. I can also travel and ease. And I think like I think it was also the thing. I was kind of denying myself, like I was denying myself to say out loud, truly, I don't want to live in nature. No, I don't want to live in the city at all. I don't want to live in the city. I want to live in nature. I want to be able to drive. I want to be at peace with myself, and I like being on my own. Like a creative job made me super social, or requested me to be super social, which I am sometimes, but honestly like not as social, and I don't really love it. It actually drains me. So I admitted to myself for the first time that I don't need to fit into the box that I've created for myself and that other people have created for me, and I can actually do just my own thing. And my own thing would be to move, like where I'm currently permanently. My current dream is to travel as well, and to be able to do it, and if work artistically, then honestly get paid what I should be paid and not whatever the fuck, because like currently I can absolutely not live off my art. It's not possible. And I have a second, third, fourth job. Like when I was in Berlin, I was working 3 jobs, and I was super tired. Like it was like there was not even any inspiration, and now I actually do have the time to like create, and I don't want to, because I realized that the slowness gave me a clear vision. I want to do something different, and I still want to create sometimes, but I feel like I don't know if that was really my true passion. I think art was a means of an escape for me to feel better in the place where I was at the time, but it wasn't really truly my passion. And it feels good to say it. It feels good to know it, and it feels really crazy to have realized how many times in between lines it felt so good to read the morning pages and realize how many times in between lines I've said this again and again. Like it felt like, and I think it's the hardest thing to admit to yourself, something that you worried about admitting, because what I really want would require me to change my entire life. And I mean, in some ways I already have, but it would change it again. And it would require so much more work, but I think right now I'm just like willing to do it and want to do it because I want to be here, and I want to be in nature, and I want to be more on my own. I really love it. Like I really love it. It's like art's made me social, and that's great. But inside, at my core, I am a person that loves her time and loves to be in silence and loves to observe. Like I want to observe and not like be in the midst of things, and I think I found like a service that I actually really want to do and that I actually care for truly. And I think I love, for example, I love photography, and the kind of photography that I make or made was very much I want to make people feel beautiful. I want them to feel comfortable. A lot of people that I worked with were mostly people that have never been in front of a camera before, and it felt really good to make people comfortable, and I thought that that was my service. But actually, the only reason to why I could even do it was because I created a setting where I would go in nature and shoot with people in nature, and it was like I craved to be outside so much, and it wasn't so much about the art. And still, I love to make people feel comfortable, and I still like to do portraits, and I still like photography, but I love nature more, and I want to be in it, and I want to work with it, and I don't really know yet exactly how it's going to look like, but for now, that realization alone is something that feels so good to admit. And yeah, I think that's what I want to do. I want to move and I want to live in nature. Yeah. And I want to pause arts. I want to, like, I will finish my projects that I started this spring, and I will probably continue with some things from time to time, but I decided yesterday that I'm no longer taking commissions, and I'm no longer doing it. I'm no longer doing it. I'm gonna share what I have and maybe like do some things for myself, but I'm no longer working as an artist for now. And maybe it's gonna change, but I feel good. And I think it was also the exercise where we're supposed to say our goals, and I was having a really hard time saying artistic goals because I didn't care about them so much, and I would say them out loud, and I was like, I don't really care if it happens or not. It doesn't really move me. And when I said to myself, imagine you live in this city forever, it kind of like irked me in the wrong way. And I told myself, imagine you actually live in nature. Imagine you can actually come to an ocean every other day. And that made me light up. Like suddenly I was just like, yeah, that is my dream. I want this so much. And to connect my life with nature would be the biggest blessing I could do for myself. And coming back to an inner child, what really this girl ever wanted was to be in nature. And what I love doing was always connected to spending time a little bit with my thoughts and alone and observing the things around me. And I want to come back to that person because that was the time I remember being happy. And now I'm slowly coming back to it, and it feels right. And it feels right to be here. Yeah. So that's my reflection for week 9 of The Artist Way. Thank you. Bye.